We connect to Wi-Fi pretty much without thinking about it, right? At home, in a coffee shop, at the airport, you see a network name you recognize, you tap it, and boom, you're online. But what if that trust is, well, misplaced? What if that network isn't what it says it is?
So let me just ask you this straight up. Is that free Wi-Fi at your favorite coffee spot a trap? It's a simple question, but believe me, the answer can get pretty complicated. That convenience could actually be a perfectly set trap designed to snatch your data while you're just trying to enjoy your coffee. And this threat, it's very real.
It's called an evil twin attack, and honestly, it's exactly what it sounds like. Think of it as a digital doppelganger for a Wi-Fi network. An attacker sets up a fake hotspot that looks identical to the real one. It has the same name, it might even have a similar login page. Your phone or laptop sees it, thinks, oh, I know that one, and connects. And just like that, you're in their net.
So how does this all go down? It's kind of scary how simple it is. It happens in 4 key steps. First, they deploy. The attacker just sets up their own fake Wi-Fi network, often boosting the signal so it looks stronger than the real one. Next, you connect. Your device is designed for convenience, so it automatically jumps on the strongest signal it recognizes. And now for the scary part, intercept. Once you're on their network, they can see everything you do online, your emails, your passwords, all of it. And finally, the most advanced attacks will spoof. They use AI to create login pages that are so perfect they are virtually impossible to tell from the real thing. Okay, I know that sounds pretty terrifying. And it is. So how in the world do you fight an enemy you can't even see? Well, you can't just sit back and wait to get hit. You have to be proactive. You have to get ahead of them. And to do that, you have to start thinking like the enemy. This right here is the absolute core of what we call offensive security. Instead of just building up your digital walls and hoping for the best, you actively try to knock them down yourself. You simulate attacks, you look for the cracks, and you patch them up before a real attacker ever finds them. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive. And a great tool for this job is something called a rapid penetration test, or an RPT. Now I know the name sounds super technical and intimidating, but it's really just a focused, efficient security drill. Think of it as a fire drill for your Wi-Fi. It's a way for anyone, even junior IT folks, to safely test a network's defenses and get some quick, really practical insights. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the ethical hacker's playbook. We're going to walk through exactly how one of these simulated attacks actually works. The main goal, the whole reason for the test, is to capture something called the handshake. Okay, so what is that? Think of it like a secret encrypted code that gets exchanged between your device and the Wi-Fi router to make sure you have the right password. It's a tiny little piece of data, but if you can grab that handshake, you have the key piece of the puzzle you need to test how strong the network's password really is. So the whole test really unfolds in 4 straightforward phases. First, you scan the area to find your target network. Easy enough. Second, you start monitoring the traffic and you capture that all-important WP2 handshake. Third, you attack, but it's a safe attack. You run a list of common passwords, what's called a dictionary, against that handshake to see if you can crack it. And finally, you analyze the results. Did you get in? How long did it take? This tells you exactly how secure that network is. And this brings up a really crucial point. Automation has completely changed the game. What used to take a ton of skill and a lot of time can now be done with automated tools in seconds. These attacks happen way faster than most people can even react to. And that's exactly why just waiting around for an attack to happen is no longer an option. Now, running one of these tests is a fantastic tactic, don't get me wrong, but it's just one tool in the toolbox. To be truly safe from threats like the evil twin, you need more than that. You need a complete shift in how you approach security. We call this the offensive blueprint mindset. The thing is, modern security tech is amazing. It's incredibly powerful. But even the absolute best technology is not a set-it-and-forget-it solution. Security isn't a product you buy, it's a process. It's something you have to constantly be testing, validating, and making better. For instance, let's talk about the new WPA3 standard. It uses 192-bit encryption. Now, to put that into perspective for you, it would take the most powerful supercomputers on Earth literally billions of years to crack it. So it's a massive, massive step up. But even an unbreakable vault is useless if someone just leaves the key under the doormat because of a bad habit or a simple mistake. And this really shows the difference between 2 totally different ways of thinking. The old way is the compliance mindset. It's all about checklists and asking, are we compliant? It kind of just assumes you're secure. But the offensive blueprint mindset asks a much better question, are we secure? It doesn't assume anything. It actively goes out and proves it, over and over again.
So what it all boils down to is this. The offensive blueprint is about continuously asking one simple, powerful question. Can our defenses actually stand up to a real-world attack? It's not about what a checklist says. It's about being ready for what attackers are actually doing out there in the wild.
Okay, so this all sounds great for big companies with huge security teams, right? But what about you? What can you personally do right now to protect yourself? Let's bring this all back home and talk about a personal defense plan. Here are 5 essential tips, kind of like a Wi-Fi hygiene checklist. First, and this one is huge, disable automatic connections on your phone and laptop. This forces you to manually pick your network every time. Second, use strong authentication. Always look for networks using WPA3 security and, of course, use long, complex passwords. Third, if you can, segment your home network. Keep your guests' devices on a totally separate network from your own. Fourth, just be aware of your surroundings. If you're in a public place and see 2 networks with the exact same name, that's a huge red flag. And finally, report anything suspicious. If a network feels weird or slow, just disconnect. If you're at work, let your IT team know. Which brings us to our last thought for today. You can have the best encryption in the world and a password that's a mile long, but amazing technology can always be beaten by a simple bad habit. So think about this. What's more important to your digital safety? Your strongest password or your weakest habit? Something to keep in mind the next time you connect.